day and welcome. I'm Son Ryan Crucial. I am a certified hypnotherapist and I'm with Crucial Holistic Services today offering this self-hypnosis info session for the community. So we offer these monthly at nearby Phoenix libraries, so if you'd like more information, feel free to check the link below. And otherwise, today what we're going to be going over is a little bit about self-hypnosis, how self-hypnosis is utilized, and what kind of differences and changes it can make in your life. It's a very easy process to start to apply into your daily routine, and it can really make some profound and lasting changes in habit, stress management, pain management, anxiety relief, the ability to relax, get better sleep, a number of benefits that we're going to go over in part today. So again, this is a self-hypnosis info session, and let's jump right in. So first off and foremost, we want to dispel misconceptions around hypnosis, self-hypnosis. Sometimes, especially in the entertainment field, hypnosis gets a little bit of a rap, and that is that you often see the stage hypnotist on stage presenting to amongst various people for entertainment purposes. You might start with something along the lines of, "I have in my hand a juicy yellow ripe sour lemon, and as I cut into that lemon, it begins to drip down my arm, the juices," and you'll kind of look around and see who's having a response, right? He or she, whomever is performing this stage hypnosis, will go about kind of looking at the audience and scope them out to see who's most suggestible. And when we talk about suggestibility, we're talking about how people take in information, okay? You'll hear that a lot with hypnosis, suggestibility, and it's basically, how do you learn, right? How do you take information from your environment? And those that are suggestible to you, and about 25% of the population is suggestible to you inherently, according to the studies of Dr. Kappas, who is a prolific hypnotherapist. He was able to discern that any person you meet, about 1 in 4 is likely to be hypnotizable by you. So the stage hypnotist will discern who amongst the audience is hypnotizable by them. And then they will go through some other vetting processes, ultimately to have a bit of fun by having that person play along in certain antics that are ascribed, all in good fun. And ultimately, whether the person is hypnotized or not in a stage hypnosis setting is debatable, but it's for fun, right? So we're there to have a good time. However, in self-hypnosis and in heterohypnosis, or working with a hypnotherapist such as myself in a hypnotherapeutic setting, we're doing it more so with a goal in mind, right? We're still using certain principles of suggestibility, how a person learns, to ultimately create changes in that person's life that will benefit them in regards to shifting habits, shifting lifestyle and experience, amongst a number of other aspects that can be adjusted through self-hypnosis. So in regards to, consider for yourself, have you ever experienced hypnosis that you're aware of, whether in a very entertainment-based setting, such as a stage hypnotism, or maybe you've received hypnotherapy services yourself, or practiced with some of these techniques. As meditation and different alternative wellness and health practices come into play, more and more people begin to play and practice with these different techniques. So consider for yourself, and maybe even consider those around you. Do you know of anyone who's practiced these things, and what do they have to say about it? I'm really interested to hear what you have to share, and feel free to comment below. So in that regard, in those hypnosis sessions and in those hypnotherapeutic models, one thing is really important to recognize, and it's that you as the engager of hypnosis, whether you're doing it for yourself in self-hypnosis or you're being facilitated, whether for fun or for therapeutic purposes, you are in control. Very important, you're in control of the whole situation. While you're in a self-hypnosis session or you're working with a hypnotherapist, you'll be very deeply relaxed. And you'll be so relaxed that even though you could get up from the chair and go about doing whatever you'd like, you probably won't want to because it's so comfortable. Right? And also because you've probably invested some time and energy to the practice in the first place. And therefore, with that motivation, you're more likely to engage the hypnotherapeutic process. So again, whether you're doing self-hypnosis or heterohypnosis, you are in control. Very important. No one is able to tell you otherwise. The person walking like a chicken on the stage hypnosis is purely doing it for the fun of it. And the person who is eager to make changes in their life is able to get the guidance and to make the impact that they need to through hypnotherapeutic models. We're going to go over how you can do that for yourself with self-hypnosis. But first we have to define a little further what hypnosis is. We kind of said what it wasn't, right? That it's not just the entertainment, that it is an actual ability to affect and change habits and the mind. and that also it's something that we have control over. The practitioner or the recipient has the control of the hypnosis. So it does derive from a Greek word, hypnos, which means sleep-like, and that came from the idea that being in a relaxed, deeply calm state looks very much like sleep, right? But it's not sleep. And there's some really key differences from hypnosis, the state of hypnosis, and sleep. One of those being that in sleep you're unconscious, right? For the most part, deep sleep, you're just not really aware consciously of what's going on in and around you. Whereas in hypnosis, you're acutely aware of what's going on around you, right? If you were to close your eyes for a moment, and perhaps if you're sitting comfortable and somewhere safe, you might just take a moment to do this. Go ahead and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just begin to notice. Maybe first your breathing. Maybe the environment itself. Are there noises around you? Maybe some noises you didn't notice before. Are there sensations, such as the air conditioning blowing on your skin? These subtle sensations become that much more acutely aware once we close our eyes and begin to focus softly, gently. So when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And just take a little note for yourself. What did you experience? When we close our eyes, we close ourselves off to a host of information. Our eyes are taking in thousands of bits of information at any time, whether we're fully aware of it or otherwise. And so when we close our eyes, we go into a more focused state of awareness, which is key in hypnosis. Hypnosis is a tool that increases the suggestibility of the mind. It works with that suggestibility, that learning property of the mind, in order to create lasting and impactful changes in the individual's life. It also is very important in hypnosis relaxation. And for the purposes of hypnosis, we'll define relaxation as a state of release of tension, of letting go and the deep release of muscle and psychic tension, mental tensions that might be had. So it's a letting go of all the things that came before in the day, letting go of as much of the physical tensions or any ease that needs to be found in the body. We're just taking some time to that. And that's actually a byproduct of hypnosis. In order to get into state, you have to get into that relaxed, tension-free place. So even though that's part of hey, that's a good thing, right? To be nice and relaxed and feeling loose at it, yet that's just an aspect of hypnosis. What we're really looking to do is make those changes to meet those goals that we've set forth, which is a huge difference of hypnosis than meditation. Meditation is just about that relaxation, right? In certain cases, it's about connecting to spiritual principles or ascending to a state of awareness. But at base, it's about relaxing the mind and body. Whereas in hypnosis, though we are relaxing the mind and body, we're also looking to see a goal met, see something achieved or experienced in our day-to-day via the hypnosis process. Also, the hypnotic practice allows us to access the subconscious mind with a great degree of ease. And what the subconscious mind is, it is the facilitator of all of the subtle aspects of our experience. It's what keeps our heart beating. It's what allows our breath to passively be taking in inhales and exhales without our conscious awareness of such, right? The blood pumping, the body moving, the nervous system firing off all these synapses and electric currents running through the body. All of this is orchestrated and organized via the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is what we use for logic and analysis and reason. And there's this great concept called the theory of mind that I go over in much more detail in my self-hypnosis workshop, where you'll learn to use the theory of mind to directly make some of these changes. Today we're just going to work with the concept so that you can start to practice some of these self-hypnotic modes or go into more study for yourself. But I highly recommend checking out the theory of mind as well as our self-hypnosis workshops. And moving right along with the flow. So in order to create a state of hypnosis for the self-practice, we're moving into a state of organizing our thoughts. We're allowing all the things that don't serve us, aren't about our current focus, to fall away so that we can focus immediately on our goal at hand. And of course, then it's important to decide what our goal is. What are we looking to achieve with self-hypnosis? Are we looking to change habits? Are we looking to change our ideas or beliefs about a given experience or instance? That's up for you to decide. But of course, your hypnotherapist can assist you in deciding what those goals are to make the changes needed for your presenting issues. One of the major differences between heterohypnosis and self-hypnosis is that self-hypnosis is about that organization of the mind, bringing our thoughts and our focus to kind of a pinpoint. Whereas heterohypnosis, when you're working with a hypnotherapist, is more so about disorganizing the mind, shifting the belief systems and the ideas that we already have about a thing so that we can create a new paradigm of experience. And both are really integral when we're talking about making lasting change. Now, in terms of hypnosis, we've all experienced it. I asked you previously in the video to consider where you've experienced hypnosis, and many of you may have considered a very specific instance, but we actually experience hypnosis all the time, every day. Anytime you're driving, perhaps on your morning commute or even after work, and you're kind of just zip by, all the lights just kind of, you blow through them as you do, hopefully safely and at a good speed. But you just kind of do your routine without thinking about it too much. You might find that after work you're driving and all of a sudden you're at your exit. These are indicative of being in a slight hypnotic state, right? Where the subconscious mind knows what is rote and kind of just takes to it. If you've ever seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler, he gets a magical remote that allows him to fast forward the boring parts of his life. But in the movie, he's still there. He's still experiencing it, but just kind of in a sort of robotic, not fully aware state. Right? And we might tease that that's the worst end of the hypnotic state, where we're kind of just in a sort of deep focus on what we're doing, not necessarily thinking so strongly about anything else, and just allowing ourselves to focus on the present information or wherever our mind is taking us in that moment. So whether it's daydreaming, whether it's getting a little lost in thought for a moment, or even just focusing deliberately on a project, all of these things indicate hypnotic states. Now, one hypnotic state I can guarantee everyone has experienced is sleep itself. When going to sleep, that is a form of hypnosis. Right? The body at one point had a different time scale of sleep. Right? The 8-hour time scale that we utilize in the US has not always been the time that sleep happened. In fact, we've been trained our bodies to do that 8-hour sleep cycle or something like it in many cases. And that's just indicative of how our subconscious will adapt to the information that is presented to it. Okay? So in regards to hypnosis, you've already experienced it. You've already gotten tastes of it. It's a natural phenomenon. And what we're doing with self-hypnosis is we're taking this natural phenomenon and utilizing it for our own ends of self-empowerment, of shifting and changing habits, and making a better life experience for not only ourselves, but our community at large. Some people ask, am I hypnotizable? Right? Can I be hypnotized? I've tried it before. I don't know if I can be as such. And to that, I would say everyone is hypnotizable. Just as I mentioned before, we've all experienced forms of hypnosis in one way or another. Now, working with a specific hypnotherapist, that's a degree of rapport, which is to say how well you connect with that person, how well do you trust them, how well do you appreciate what they're offering to you, and ultimately how comfortable are you with the process. Right? Even if you consciously are aware of, yes, I understand it should be like this, the subconscious mind has its own ideas about certain things, its own associations. So what we're doing in hypnosis is we're starting to reorient some of those associations. And the first and foremost one is becoming comfortable with the hypnotic process. When we do that, when we become more comfortable, we'll recognize that everyone is hypnotizable. They just all have their different ways of doing such. For self-hypnosis, we can look at some criterion in regards to what will make a person most hypnotizable. Okay? Some of that is motivation, perseverance, how often a person engages something and how excited and eager they are about it. How willingly will they affirm it to others and share it, advocate for it. Their optimism, their desire for something to work out for them, to see the benefits, to focus more so on the positive aspects rather than otherwise, or at least neutrally to engage the practice. All of these things, the interest and eagerness for change and effect, will have a greater impact while engaging self-hypnosis. And when working with a hypnotherapist, they will do their best to guide you into these criterion so that you can most fully receive the benefits you're looking for. So again, just a little bit about sleep and hypnosis, right? Because some people say, yes, I lay back and kind of just go deep, maybe so deep they move into an unconscious state. And an important way of being away from that, from not falling asleep and keeping yourself aware enough to engage the refocusing, perhaps even reprogramming that you're doing with self-hypnosis, is to partially incline yourself. When we lay all the way back, again, the subconscious mind has all these associations. And some of those associations are with sleep. So when we lay all the way back, especially in our bed or something of the sort, the subconscious mind says, it's time to sleep. That little remote fast forwards us into our bedtime processes when we're laying there like that. So in order to create a sound environment for a self-hypnotic practice, find somewhere where you can incline just slightly. Somewhere you can be comfortable and not disturbed, and that you can find yourself in a comfortable semi-inclined position. That'll help the body relax most fully and really move you into a place of creating a regular routine based on that positioning that the subconscious mind will start to associate. If you haven't caught on yet, it's all about association. It's all about how the subconscious mind responds to stimuli very automatically. Because an interesting thing about the subconscious mind is that it doesn't differentiate information. It takes it all in. The conscious mind can choose to block some things out and let some things in. Ooh, that's interesting. I like that. That's not really for me. But the subconscious mind, anything that bypasses and gets into it, it will associate and continue to engage. Whether that's good or bad, right? It's purely just associative. Either a known positive association or a known negative association. And anything that is not associated to the subconscious mind is automatically negative, right? There will be an aversion to new things. That's why often people have a hard time learning new tricks, right? Shifting and shaking it up, because somewhere the subconscious mind is already associating as it does. Might have some more guests joining us in just a moment, but we'll continue flowing along. Stay hydrated, y'all. Okay, so self-hypnosis. As I had mentioned before, but just so we have a concrete definition of such, it is the process of organizing the thoughts and the quality and quantity of information that is entering the brain. Okay? So again, focusing and honing what we're allowing into our mind, rather than every which stimuli that comes along influencing us this way and that. Right? We do this by moving into a state of narrowed focus through a process of deep relaxation. That semi-inclined position, nice and relaxed, starting to focus on the breath. Right? It doesn't even have to be deep breathing per se, it can just be consciously breathing, bringing some awareness therein. If you can find yourself in a place comfortable and quiet enough, feeling free to close the eyes. A great place to start if you really want to take yourself a little deeper and to experience a shift of conscious state is to focus the eyes, almost as if you were looking up and inward towards the very top of the head, like you had a little string up here, pulling ever so gently. And you might focus your eyes up there. And maybe after 3 deep breaths, count them with me, 3 deep breaths. 1 in, exhaling, and really trying to look up and in, inhaling for 2. And in the 3rd, inhaling. As you close, just let the eyes close heavily. And this is a great way to get yourself into a shifted state of consciousness. If you find yourself there, nice and relaxed for a moment, we're going to bring you back up so we can continue on with the session. But definitely practice this technique, this 3-breath entry, where you breathe while looking up, and the eyes will start to get a little heavy. They might flicker and flutter. And then as you let that 3rd breath out, just release and sink in to that relaxed position. But for now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, and we'll keep trucking along. We got some beautiful techniques to share with you. And if you're interested in honing this even further, definitely check out that self-hypnosis workshop where we do various practices like these and are able to talk about how they shift some of the mentality, the quality and the quantity of the information that's coming in. So when we're talking about self-hypnosis, we really want to be aware of these 2 laws that govern self-hypnosis. And we've talked about them a little bit, but I'm going to set them as concrete laws for us right now. The first one is the law of repetition. The more you do something, the more you're motivated to engage it, the more frequently you engage it, the more likely you're to see results. Right? So if you practice self-hypnosis once every day, you're going to start seeing quicker results than if you were to practice it at a greater space of time, maybe every 2 weeks or something of the sort. You'll still see results, but not necessarily to the impact and effect. And the beauty of self-hypnosis is you can do it quick, flat, and in a hurry. And once you get good with some of the techniques that we share in our workshops and some that we'll share here, you can do this in 30 seconds to a minute. Completely focus and intend your next segment of experience through the hypnotic practice. It's great stuff. The second law is the law of association, which is that as you start to associate, right, the inclined position, the space that you regularly practice in, maybe the 3-breath entry, other techniques, and there are a host of self-hypnotic techniques to check out. As you begin to study and explore them, the more you practice them and associate them with states of relaxation, the more easily you'll get into that relaxed state. It may take you 10, 15, maybe a half hour even to really get these techniques down and figure out that hypnotic state. But once you do, it's going to get easier and easier to the point where you'll be able to do it in a matter of seconds. Okay? The habit that we create through hypnosis to get back into hypnosis is called post-suggestion. So what we will do is when we get into that state of relaxation, muscles are feeling loose and limp, nice and heavy, eyes are closed, the breath has a natural tendency to shift a little bit, right? You may need to take in more breath, more oxygen. That's starting to shift you down to that hypnotic state. And as we do that, we start to associate, this is self-hypnosis. I'm good at this self-hypnosis. I can get myself down into a state of relaxation very quickly, very easily. Every time I count down from 10 to 0, I will enter into a deep, restful state, and the physical body will become relaxed. The more we affirm this post-suggestion, the easier it will be to get into self-hypnosis, into hypnosis in general. Okay? So again, the two laws, the law of repetition, the more you do it, the more easily it'll be done. The law of association, the more you engage certain consistent practice, the more readily the subconscious will know, that's what we're doing. Just like driving home, that's our exit. Don't even have to think about it. It just happens with ease. Okay. When engaging hypnosis, there's a few other techniques because again, hypnosis is the facilitation of the state. So there's a few techniques we want to employ in the hypnotic state. One of those being affirmations. If you haven't started working with affirmations, highly recommend starting working with affirmations. It's all about reprogramming the way our internal dialogue flows. If your internal dialogue is neutral to negative, you're probably going to see neutral to negative experiences in your life. Whereas if you can start to shift that internal dialogue from that neutral negative to more of a neutral positive, which is that, all right, this is, but it could be better. Hey, it's looking good on this side of it. When you start to shift to that mentality a little more so, which can be done much more easily through affirmations, you'll start to notice that things have an ease of flow for you. Things line up and begin to have more of a unfolding that serves you. And affirmations allow us to shift that internal dialogue. We go deeper into affirmations, and I highly recommend checking out some of the resources that Crucial Holistic Services offers in regards to affirmations. But one of the most simple affirmations, and one of my favorite, because all of us are looking to either work better with our teams or our clients, or work better in our communities and have a greater output as well as engagement and sense of worth, is I do wonderful work in a wonderful way with wonderful people for wonderful pay. It's an easy, almost poetic sounding affirmation. It's great to do first thing in the morning when you first wake up, and that's because we've slowed all the thoughts and all the processes as we've been sleeping, and so what we set forth first thing in the day as an affirmation will carry through. And then also right before you go to bed, the last 15 to 30 minutes before you go to bed, doing some affirmations, right? And affirmations can look any which way for you, but it's essentially affirming what you desire. Affirming that you have it, whether it's a possession or it's a skill, that you are with it, you're working on it, and in that practice and that cultivation, it will work out for you. So check out affirmations and be sure to implement them into your own self-care routine. All right, so with that, we've talked a little bit about self-hypnosis. We've given you some tastes even about how you can go into the self-hypnotic state. And what we're going to do now is we're going to offer a slight guidance into that hypnotic state so that you can experience it fully for yourself. Right? Very easily done. All you need to do is find a nice comfortable position, and that's semi-inclined if you're available to it. Maybe somewhere, again, that you won't be disturbed, that you can have a few minutes of peace to yourself. And what we're going to be doing is progressively relaxing the body. And you can do this anytime you want to engage a self-hypnotic practice, or even just set yourself up for your next segment of experience, whether heading in to your next appointment, or even just before you get home and totally unload and relax. You can just take these little bits as segment shifts. When you're comfortable, just bringing awareness to the breath. Finding a stillness in the body, preferably the feet firmly planted on the ground, the palms resting on the lap, face down. If you really feel like the energies you have in your body are already good, meaning that you've taken in enough today, right? You're feeling like, I got some stuff to chew on and to work through. But if you feel like you could use a little boost, you can bring the palms face up on the lap. Okay? Whatever position you find, just starting to notice the breath. Not making any adjustments initially, just being aware of the breathing, choosing to focus on the breath. And thoughts will come up, as they do. They naturally have this propensity, like clouds in the sky, they just roll on by. But just like clouds in the sky, we're going to let them keep on rolling. We'll take note of them, and let's just let them pass by with the breath, maybe exhaling out to give the breeze and blow those clouds aside. And as you feel most comfortable, allowing the eyes to gently close so that we can go inward. And letting yourself have a nice deep breath, just relaxing and releasing any tension that you might notice. And begin focusing on the very top, the crown of the head. And as you do, start to feel, notice, imagine, or pretend a cascading coolness flowing down from the top of the head, soothing and easing the tense muscles that might be there. Or even the eased muscles, the relaxed muscles, becoming even more relaxed. Down the scalp, down the hairline, the jawline. Perhaps the teeth begin to part just slightly, relaxing the jaw and the face muscles. This cascading, flowing wave of relaxation continuing down the neck. And as you bring awareness to these areas of the neck and shoulders, the scalp, the jawline and face, all relaxing. Just breathing into those spaces, noticing that with attention, energy begins to flow and release in those areas. Down the arms and shoulders, triceps and biceps, fingers and hands, wrists and forearms, all becoming very deeply relaxed. And now the hips and pelvis, thighs, front of thighs and back, knees and calves, shins at the front and the calves, all relaxing. Down into the ankles and the feet, out through the pads of the feet and each and every toe. And going even a little deeper now, allowing a sort of anchor, roots even, to begin to spread from the base of the feet down into the earth. Down, 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 deep into the earth. Deep to the core of the earth, where you can feel very anchored, centered, and at peace. Just taking a few moments to feel this centered sensation, that you've taken time now to relax the whole of the body as we prepare. For the self-hypnotic experience. And as you are ready, count yourself down. Count yourself down from 10 to 0. And knowing that as you count down, you will relax even more, even deeper. As you breathe, counting down from 10. And at 0, instruct yourself, intend for yourself to release any and all remaining tension, to relax even deeper at 0. Just like that. When you reach zero, allowing yourself that deep sleep. And we use deep sleep, or deep, just as an indicator of the depth that we're looking for. That we want to bypass those critical areas of the mind, the limiting thoughts, the limiting beliefs that no longer serve us, that just automatically come up at times. When we relax ourselves very deeply, as you currently are practicing, you let yourself move beyond those limitations into the possibilities of what else is available to you. We're reteaching, relearning, exploring and expanding what else is possible for our subconscious and conscious minds. And now visualize, imagine, picture, pretend somewhere that is the most beautiful, the most restorative and relaxing for you. Somewhere in nature, perhaps by a river or lake, in the forest or near the mountains, somewhere that is restful and restorative to you. Perhaps this is a place that you've experienced in your real life, or perhaps it's just somewhere that feels right to you. Either way works perfectly. But give yourself the gift of this imagery today, this place of feeling content, satisfied, and ready for more goodness upon you. This sanctuary is yours to visit whenever you would like. We build these resources within so that we can access them in those moments of needing a little boost, to feel better. And we can really exemplify those feelings. So take that feeling in this place, the relaxation, the comfort, the ease, and lean into it. Really make it brighter, make it bigger for yourself. If there's water lapping at the beach, really listen to the roar of the tide. If you're in the forest, listen to the citharism of the trees, the air blowing through the leaves. And wherever you find yourself, just exemplify that sensation now. Just like that. Now, this is a practice, of course, you can engage for as long as you need to, for as long as you would like. Though for our purposes today, we're going to affirm our post-hypnotic suggestion. As you're feeling good and you're enjoying the space of your sanctuary, affirm for yourself that I have the ability to make changes in my life. I have the ability to enter into this state of comfort and relaxation whenever I so choose. And that all I need to do is find a place of relaxation to enjoy, to take a few deep breaths, and bring myself into mindful focus on what it is I desire. That I can enter into a state of hypnosis easily and effortlessly, simply by breathing and counting down from 10 to 0, or maybe 100 to 0, whatever serves you best and allows you to go as deep as you need to. And as you affirm that, feeling very confident in your affirmation, knowing that this new tool will continue to service you in the days, weeks, and months to come. And as you affirm that, very important tool, most important tool of this whole session, and you can use this anytime you feel like you're a little bit entranced by life, by circumstances, anything that comes up that has you feeling a little caught. We can just count ourselves up. And the way you do that is by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. But before you do, make sure at 0 you let yourself go a little bit deeper to seal off that subconscious mind and choose to focus on the neutral to positive aspects of your life. Clearing and venting out any negative associations that don't serve us anymore. at 0. And then counting up out loud, preferably, or just in your head if you're on the bus or wherever you find yourself. But counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. Go ahead and do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, fully present, fully aware. And just like that, you've done it. You've practiced self-hypnosis, perhaps for the first time, perhaps for the 100th. Let me know how it went for you. Let me know how you implement this into your own practice so that others can be inspired by this wonderful method of self-exploration and change. This has been a self-hypnosis info session presented by Crucial Holistic Services. We have tons of resources to check out. Check out our various videos on self-hypnosis as well as other integrative wellness topics so that you can make the most of your experience with the tools and resources that are available to you. My name is Ryan Crucial, certified hypnotherapist, and I'm looking forward to assisting you and having you join in our next session. I wish you well and best of efforts with the self-hypnotic practice.